Hello everyone, welcome back to the SMITE guide to Yemoja. This is Arena. Now, Arena is my least favorite mode in which to use Yemoja in, not because of her first 3 abilities, but because of how next to useless her ult actually often is in Arena. Because of how much open space there is in Arena, there's really not a whole lot of opportunities to very effectively utilize her ult in a team fight or really anything. In fact, the most useful thing you can do with her ult is to use it to help prevent the enemy Minotaur from going into your portal. That's the primary use case that I use it for. That's where it's most useful. There are going to be occasional moments, if you play Yemoja consistently in Arena, where you can use her ult to prevent enemies from finishing off an ally, and rare moments where you can use it up against one of the only 2 walls in Arena and use that to help pin enemies in. These do exist, but these opportunities are very rare. Another problem is, I've been talking about how you can use Riptide to keep enemies away from your ranged damage. The problem is a lot of the time, you don't necessarily have the angle for that. I talked about this more, and you could see it more visually in the previous Joust episode, where I really didn't have many opportunities, angle-wise, to make that really work. It's even worse in Arena in that regard, where you're very rarely going to have the correct angle for that. At all, to be quite honest. So, that's fairly tough to pull off. Now, there are going to be occasional moments where that can, in fact, work really well. Mostly, though, you're going to be using it to keep enemies within a certain area. You're going to use it to help bring enemies back in by using the one that pulls them towards you. But even then, you're still looking at interesting angles. Now, in this particular circumstance, we do have the kind of people we want as Nami and Thoth and Vamon, where we want the ever-delightful Brain Cramp, War Flag. So, that's really things that you have to keep an eye out for as Yemoja. Again, just like with Joust or Ahead Conquest games, you're primarily going to be relying on your your first ability. Your second ability actually is fairly useful here, especially early game, where the healing actually matters a little bit more, but it's not often going to be that impactful. It's more something that you're going to use to help maybe get an ally out of an ugly situation. If you're already winning a team fight, it can help you really steamroll that team fight, but that's just about all you can really do with your second ability here. Again, just as the first Just episode exemplified, don't rely on your heal too much, because that will get your team a loss. Both teams have pretty balanced team compositions. They're a little tankier than we are, though. I'll just walk right into that like some kind of dumb cough. That's cool. Ah, yes, the ult. That's interesting. I'm going to try to keep Vamon alive over here. He's playing this way too aggressively. We need to actually be leaving here. Did he get out? Yes, he got out. Okay. We don't need that fight. We got a kill. We need to get out. We can't be taking such risks so early. Keep the lead. Run with that. Okay. That's a shame. We have enough for Gauntlet. There we go. Atlas, what are you doing? That was, you know that was a waste of time. Come on. Alright, now we're going to want to rush our cooldowns. I get Breastplate of Valor first because they are a primarily physical composition, which helps. Then I'll probably grab Pridwind, finish off my cooldowns, and then finish up with a nice... probably Pestilence, based on the fact that they do have enough self-heal present to actually justify that, as well as the consistent healing of Baron Samedi. I thought for sure it was going to pull me in. Oh, we're having a connection issue. Okay. I'm just glad I didn't die and that I recovered. It doesn't always happen. Should basically let that hit her. Nemesis, you can't kill me. What are you doing? Nice. Nice. Alright, good. Alright. Now you'll notice that a lot of these times I'm just using this mostly to increase my Omi regeneration. This is pretty much how you're going to be approaching it a lot of the time yourself. Again, there are those specific situations I mentioned during the character selection, but mostly if you're going to use this, it's primarily so you can bust out some extra Omi in a particularly dangerous situation. You'll also notice that I keep doing it in response to Atlas pulling in somebody who is at danger of dying. That's why. Okay. You overstayed. We really need some help with these minions here. I don't think Izanami's gonna die here. That's fine. Nah, she made it. I thought she would. Didn't get to finish my Gauntlet of Thebes, unfortunately, but there you have it. Nice play. Shoot. Oh, relax. We're all too aggressive. Alright, we're looking to save Thoth here, because clearly he's in danger. This is not going to happen. Okay. Nemesis, stop bothering me. Alright, we need to go finish our Breastplate of Valor. We're behind. We should be playing this more safe. Ooh. Pardon, Leon. We should be playing this safer than we are. Here comes Nemesis just wandering in. Is she building protections even? No, she's just building pure damage and no one's just stopping her. Interesting. Why did he ult that? That's a shame. Mm-hmm. Alright. Fimon doesn't need to be up there. There's no reason for him to be up there. They're just coming out of their fountain, fully restored. We are not fully restored by any stretch of the imagination. We don't need to be here. Okay. Exactly what I'm talking about. We weren't going to be able to get anything there, so we needed to leave. We are overstaying these fights. That's not the one I actually need. I need the Breastplate of Vigilance. I have enough auto attackers where that's going to be more useful. Grab this and grab this. Alright. There we go. And now we need to go on to Nemesis. Yep, that's fine. That works too. There we go. Just want to make sure he died. He did, so we're good. That's fine. And you'll notice that I put my ultimate against the enemy's team wall there. Despite saying that that wasn't really a useful place to be putting the wall. The reason why I put it there was the hopes of catching his Nami, but you also notice that it failed miserably, and it put me in a dangerous situation, which is why you generally don't want to do that. If you're doing that on your own back wall here, you're probably already dead, so... Nah, I didn't think this was going to make it. We are now too far up. We don't need to be here. Again, we're too far up. We don't need to be here. We're behind, and we should not be this aggressive with this. You can see just how little I can actually affect here at this stage of the game. And this is the real problem with the Yemoja. I mean, yes, her ult is fairly difficult to actually make effective and impactful in a team fight, but until you get that very important cooldown to get your Omi regenerating the way you need to, you're really going to have a rough time here. This isn't the attack speed increase I should be going for. I need, And again, notice that the Vamon went in by himself. He's almost dead. He's going to very likely die. No, I was able to save him, but Kukulkan died in response. No, don't turn around and shoot them. Run. I can handle it. You are a squishy mage and cannot handle it. My goodness. And again, we're just going out one by one. I actually should be building Pestilence, shouldn't I? There we go. Alright, now there is something else we can do. An advanced Yemoja technique that I'm going to pull off here. At some point in the near future. Never mind. That was a decent ult. Well, I picked it up for him. I don't want to surrender this, because that'd be kind of silly. It's arena, for Pete's sakes. There we go. Not bad, not bad. She died, so that's the important thing. Actually, yeah, Pestilence is the move here. And then I think we'll finish off with some Stone of Fall, because I need some increased defense going on here. There we go. Wait for the dash. There it is. There she goes. There we go. Come on, we can turn this around, theoretically. Almost have our ult. I'm going to save up my Omi for a bit here. And... that is, did you see there? I wanted to do that in silence to see if you noticed. But you'll notice I put up my tidal waves and then put at the end of the tidal waves, I put Riptides in reverse. Now, there is ways to get around that, obviously. I believe he used beads. No, he didn't have beads. Must have gotten out another way that I wasn't noticed. He did escape, but that is a very effective way of making sure that if you don't have the wall to use it up against, you can do that. The problem is that it takes a lot of Omi. So it is, and you could also see that I had a little bit of trouble getting the second one down, because the first one was in the way, and the water wall was in the way, so it can be a little bit difficult to get that down. It takes practice, and I don't do it often enough to have that practice down to that fine tune yet, so it can be a little bit difficult to pull that off. It is definitely an advanced Yemoja technique. She's not my favorite support, so I don't use her often enough to be consistent with it. As you just saw there, I can do it, but not well. And there are Yemoja players out there, I'm sure, who can do that very well. If you can practice it, you can make her ult effective anywhere, including here in Arena. But it's, like I said, pretty difficult to pull off overall. And the actual usefulness of it is somewhat situational, in all honesty. Like, you could see there that it was really a deterrent, sure, but it wasn't like team fight winning kinds of... Yeah, I wasn't going to be able to get out of that. That wasn't like a team fight winning type of strat right there. Not in that situation. So, just keep in mind that even though that wasn't perfect, and again, they can always slip out the back here, which is another problem with it, but it's still a pretty effective technique because most people psychologically aren't going to approach you since you are theoretically the source of the danger. So psychologically, they're really not going to approach you unless they're insane. Not literally insane, but unless they're like really thrill-seeking or whatever, or they know better by experience. But if they haven't dealt with that strat before, then instinctively they're going to try to move away from you, which is psychologically normal. You know, avoid the danger and such. Fight or flight. In that particular case, it's generally flight. And they're going to fly in the opposite direction you're in. Look, I tried to body block, but you can't... First off, you can't body block her regular shots, and I know she activated her solid ones halfway through that, but I couldn't get there in time. I was expecting something from her, but that was not it. I was expecting the hook shot. You know, I'm just going to go into this now. Okay. Nice. Alright. Nice. Alright. Alright. That's interfering. Yeah, see, the Atlas has already figured it out. However, you can still use it for Omi regeneration. It's just obviously not ideal. I'm gonna die here. Okay. The Izanami, yeah, she's got chin size, attack speed. That makes sense. That's why. And there we go. Now, I'm not too surprised we lost. Again, Yemoja is not really an effective support for this. Atlas is pretty effective, but no more so than a lot of other supports. Xingtian, for example, is just as effective. There are ways, with practice, you can really get extremely good with Yemoja in Arena. I showed you some of the ways you can do that. I'm just not practiced enough with her to be able to play her at that level in Arena. And I don't care to, because she's not my style of support. I like a lot of crowd control, which she just doesn't have. She's just not my style of support, which you've heard me talk about before. That's not news. But, yeah, people... I understand that she's very good, and I know why she's very good, and I appreciate that, and I agree with people that she is very good. She's just not my style. People who are good with Yemoja will be able to do way more cool things than me in Arena. This is just kind of the things you want to be approaching Arena and consider when you're playing Yemoja in Arena, so just keep that kind of thing in mind. Do not start playing Yemoja and take her into Arena. If you're going to start with Yemoja, take her into Slash first. You get a pretty good feel for everything, for all the various situations you'll encounter. Laning, team fights, use of the jungle, use of walls, ult positioning, riptide positioning, all kinds of nifty things. Practice using your Riptide to keep enemies away from your damage dealers, rather than using them aggressively like I typically do. Again, that's just the mindset I have as a support. She is incredibly powerful, and quite honestly, there are very few people I've seen use her to what I know is her true potential. I can't play her to her true potential. My playstyle is too incongruous with what she's got. But I know, looking at her abilities and being able to play her at least okay, I know what she's really capable of, and I can understand that. And I can tell you that what you've seen in this series is not the utmost of what she can do. And like I said, unfortunately, I've seen very few people really take her to that top-tier level. And part of that problem is because she is a first-pick ban. She's usually a first ban in most pro games, so you don't really see a lot of pros play her because it's pretty much assumed, to be quite honest, very obvious reasons, that she's going to be banned, so not a lot of pros practice with her, which is unfortunate, but the reason why is because she is very powerful if used correctly. It's just that the number of people who can use her correctly is not very high. I am not one of those people. I just have enough experience with her to know what it looks like. And I can weakly emulate some of the techniques, like the one I showed you with the Riptides and the ult there. But if you are fascinated by her, or her kit, or Omi, the Omi is my real problem with her, absolutely practice with her. Practice, practice, practice. She is a really incredible support. And you can't go wrong with Yemoja except in Arena. You can go wrong by picking Yemoja there, but otherwise you're in pretty good shape. I would also, again, as I mentioned in the previous couple of episodes, I would try to avoid using her in Joust as well. She is not quite as... Well, she can be as impactful in Joust, if not more impactful, depending on how you play. That's a matter of your personal playstyle there. Maybe you can make her more effective in Joust. Maybe you're weaker with her in Joust. It really depends on how you play as a support. But with that being said, thank you all very much for joining me. If you liked this, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, please ignore me. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, ideas, suggestions, or requests, please leave them down in the comment section below. And thank you all very much for joining me, and have a great 24 hours.